All right, how is everyone doing today? And welcome to my channel. This channel is for educational purposes, and we try to turn you on to great theories and discoveries and concepts that are very valuable in that they will help you with your quest for better spiritual, mental, and physical health. But these are things that the powers that be don't want you to know anything about. They have been suppressed. They have been put out at the margins at best. And at times they can be kind of difficult as well, difficult mentally, uh, just the subject matter, and difficult emotionally because they require you to question some of your most cherished beliefs. And this is a segment that we have that is called the Q-tip of the spear. And this is a recap of the day's events according to me and my digestion of various uh, podcasters that I have listened to over the last day or so that I think are at the tip of the spear, trying to distill some of their nuggets of wisdom and or disagree with if that's what is needed by according to my estimation. And yeah, so again, I am a full control person, and I just don't see any of this as this ridiculousness, just the divisiveness and the um, just chaos in the headlines. I just don't see. It's not for me. And I don't think it's for you either. Um, it's, I think, intended to wake up some, Rip Van Winkles out there and some, people who have been in the deep freeze and need to be, uh, really drastic measures need to be taken to wake people up because, I've never really seen such a flood of just garbage news. Um, the aliens are coming, and uh, there's some moon uh, launching out of nowhere, um, and war or not war, who's fighting, whose side is who on, and who are our allies and who are our enemies, uh, and you know, corruption, government corruption, um, the government just blatantly sabotaging themselves, just humiliation rituals. So I am just going to take it all with a grain of salt and kind of check out, and not really let it bother me a whole lot. In the meantime, there's a lot of preparation that is needed. As you can see, the Patriots are going to win this. The globalists have lost. Um, I think they're just out of they're deflated. They've got nothing. And so, you know, I don't know exactly what's going to happen or how it's going to transpire, but it doesn't matter if the globalists lose if we're not ready to win. We have to have something, um, moving forward, especially if if we are in a position of control. But the problem is that our, you know, belief systems and um, kind of way of life has not really been examined, has not really been subjected to the same type of scrutiny that the diggers and the patriots and the anons out there have given to the corruption and the psyops and the hoaxes and the false flags that they've done such a great job of researching in the 20th and 21st century. From the Federal Reserve to the Pearl Harbor to the Kennedy assassination, the Operation Northwoods to, you know, all the bombings and all the school shootings and the the and all this stuff um, has been great digging, but it goes back a lot further, and it strikes at the heart of your religious beliefs, your cultural beliefs, your civilizational beliefs, your nationalist beliefs. And these have not been given a whole lot of scrutiny. Not to mention health and nutrition paradigms. Um, these are things that a lot of the truthers are carrying around without having examined them deeply enough. I think most people have been red pilled, but those red pills have been on a superficial level, just in terms of, you know, what's going on in your workplace, what's going on with your government, what's going on in the zeitgeist or the media or on the screen, but not so much what's going on in your emotions, what's going on in your heart, what went on in your, what you hold in your memory from growing up and your upbringing. Because these things are just as much of psyops as the stuff that you've already examined. And I've heard so many anons and patriots say that everything that I everything that I learned has been a lie. But you don't always take that to heart. You when you say everything, you don't really mean everything. But if you did, you would be correct because it is really everything has been a lie, but you haven't examined everything yet. You are still stuck uh, on the 20th and 21st century. And so we got to go back a lot further, and in particular to ancient times, to the formation of your holy books, your Old Testament and your New Testament. These are not going to be able to stand the test of time. They have stood the test of time. That's part of the problem. They have unjustifiably stood the test of time. Um, but particularly the New Testament being a Roman creation, a Roman psychological operation that I have gone over ad nauseum on this channel, especially in the Bible Decode series. But, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to do the research on your own. And given that half of the research is in your holy books, your gospels, but the other book that you need to add to that research is Josephus's War of the Jews in 7 volumes. And I'll just give you a hint of where to start. You can start by looking in book 3, I believe, is the start of Roman General Titus's military campaign. And compare Titus's military campaign in Judea. The Romans are fighting against the Jews. Compare General Titus's military campaign in Judea with Jesus's ministry in Judea, um, according to the book of Luke. And you will see some startling similarities that can only be explained when you have to consider that whoever wrote Josephus also wrote the New Testament, or at least the Gospels. And we know that Josephus was an agent of the Romans. He was actually a family member of the Flavian dynasty of Caesars. He lived at Caesar's palace. He was one of the court historians. The Romans had motive, method, um, and resources to carry out this psyop. And they really are the only entity that had such a motive, method, and resources. In the Roman Empire, the Romans are the only people who, had full control of publishing, distribution, and censorship. Nobody was writing anything in first century Rome unless the Caesars approved of it first. There was no, and I mean first century Roman Empire, not just in Rome, but also in Judea. There are no uh, illiterate fishermen who speak Aramaic writing Greek gospels. They came from Rome, and they were a Roman psychological operation. And they came from some of the worst, most debased, debauched, perverted people that have ever walked the face of the earth. These are people who carried with them a sodomite slave boy so that they could have somebody who could bend over for them on demand, a young boy, to bend over for them on demand whenever they wanted to get their jollies. These are the people that wrote your Gospels. And they wrote them because they hate you, and they wrote them to mock you. And you have turned around and you have a bad case of Stockholm Syndrome. And so that's just all there is to it. But you don't have to believe me. Just go get yourself a copy of Josephus free online and make that comparison, and then keep reading, and there you will find numerous other comparisons. And you can also watch my videos for more examples. Okay. Thanks for tuning in today. Like, share, subscribe, comment, contribute, and we'll see you next time. A couple more videos for today. And we'll see you next time on the tip of the spear, the Q-tip of the spear. Have a great day.